Welcome back to another Google Sheets demonstration. Today I'm going to show you how to put data into a table, how to sort that data, and then how to put that data into a graph. So we're starting with an activity where I had people rate themselves first on their own physical fitness, 1 being grandma, not very physically fit, 10 being track star. Sorry to any grandmas out there who are out there running track. This is just a demonstration. And then I asked them to report their resting pulse rate. So I'm going to put some data into this table. To put data into a table, you click on a cell, A4, and then you can just using the keyboard type in your value. If you hit the Enter key, you will move down to the cell below one you have highlighted, and if you hit the Tab key, you will move over to the right. You can also just use your mouse to select a cell if you want to. So this person rated themselves as a 3 with a resting heart rate of 84. Next person, 6, tab over, 78. So I'm going to go ahead and put in all this data that I have. Okay, so I had these people report their information to me. So now I got a bunch of numbers in a table. This doesn't really look like much because see everything's out of order, right? It's kind of hard to tell if there's any trends or patterns in your data if it's all out of order. So I'm going to sort this data. So I'm going to click up at the top here, cell A3, cell A3, and then holding my click button down, left button, I'm going to slide over and highlight both columns. Then I'm going to go up here to where I see data. I'm going to click data, and I'm going to go down to sort range. Now it's going to give me a couple options. This first line, data has a header row. That's true. The first row of our columns is a title describing what data is in that table. So I'm going to check that box. The first data is a header row. And now I want to sort this data from the lowest level of physical fitness to the highest. So using this, I want to do this with self-rated physical fitness level and from low to high, A being low, Z being high. And I'm going to click sort. And look what that did. It took all of these numbers and sorted them from lowest to highest. It also took the data that was next to it in the next column and moved that too. So now, do we see a trend in our data? We have a 2, our lowest level of physical fitness, and a 10 is our highest. Our person with the 2, 90 heartbeats a minute, person with 10, 60. But there's still some variations in here. So I want to make this into a graph so I can see this like a graph. And there's 2 different ways to do that. I'm going to show you both ways. First, highlight your data. Go up to here where it says Insert, Insert, and we want to insert a chart. Bam! And this beautiful chart is generated. So now we can look at it. On the x-axis here, we have self-rated physical fitness. Your Google Sheets will almost always organize the data with the left column being your x-axis and your right column being your y-axis. And it's going to generate this title for you. So resting pulse rate per minute versus self-rated level of physical fitness. That's a pretty good title for a graph. We have our scale from 2 to 10. Usually when we take the regions, our scales need to go from 0 and up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the chart. And when I click on the chart, double click on it, it brings up a bunch of these options. So I'm going to click on the axis here and it brings me to the horizontal axis. See this minimum and value? I want my minimum value to be 0 and I want my maximum value to be 10. See how the axis adjusted itself and now starts from 0 instead of from 2? Great. And we have this graph. We see our line starting up at 90, where our first value was, and then gradually going down with the slight variations like we see in here. This is perfect. If you want to mess around, you can click on different parts of the chart and edit it. You see this is left justified. If I want that centered, I can center it up. You can adjust the font size, you can drag things around, you can change the size of graphs. This is the easiest and quickest way to produce a graph. And then once you're in here, double click on the graph and this will bring up all of your editing options. So you can change the title of the axis, the chart, and just make it look pretty, make it look nice.